All right, so we're live. Three, two, one. Steven, it's always an absolute pleasure seeing you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. We just
You
launched.
always are.
Well, dude, I turned white after all this work on the product. So when a Spanish dude turns white, there's a lot of hard work behind it. But
You
I'm
crushed it
good.
as always.
Dude, how are you? So just a little bit about what has been your experience with us, because you joined 3, 4 months ago. Tell me a little bit about where you were and what did you try? What were you trying to get solved when we started working together?
So I've been in the coaching space in the financial education and trading space since like 2017. And in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, I made like the same amount of money off by like 10 grand. And then my whole business and kind of entrepreneurial journey got flipped upside down in the middle of 2020. My former business partners sued me 3 times for basically the gravy train leaving the station. And that set me back in a way that I was never set back before. I lost a lot of confidence. I didn't really have the kind of goals and aspirations that I had. Kind of like a lot of the wind was taken out of my sails. And I recognized that in those years, I gotten so much smarter, right? I knew the tactics so much better. And the result of that was I was kind of like in a hole. I was in like a bind. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't eating well. I definitely was not exercising. And the confidence that I had based on the track record that I was able to come up with and the performance that I had was just kind of gone. And I was working more hours than ever, like 16-hour days, 18-hour days, while having the lawsuit stuff, while having merchants withhold 6 figures plus from me, while having merchant accounts shut down in the middle of the night and money like transactions just being canceled, while having a young kid. I just wasn't able to move the ball forward at all in my business. And again, like I said before, I was just spending so much time working, and it was the most I ever worked in my life, and it was the least output I was getting. So I guess on one hand, Leon, I was kind of like smart enough to recognize that it wasn't the tactics that were giving me that I was really not. I wasn't plateauing. I was going lower at that point for sure, and that maybe it was something else. And I thought that it was me as kind of a person. And once I kind of knew that it was me that needed improvement as opposed to the tactics, as opposed to, student results, I said, okay, let me just find the person who's going to help me. And I read 3 of your tweets, 3. And I was like, he's the guy. And I signed up with you, and the rest is history.
And what happened?
so look, for the people who are watching this, like this is a big, 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 big deal for me personally. Um, and the what I'll talk about here is what I believe to be like what I know I can improve on as an entrepreneur, as a husband, as a brother, as a person. Like I feel like what I know I can improve on, I've only done 25% of it. Like I truly believe that. And I also know that when I reach 100%, there will be new things that I know I can do to improve my personal performance. And I'm a complete 180 different person. And even in the 3 months that we've been working together, stuff has certainly happened, and it will always happen. And that's just honestly, that's just the cost of doing business.
Mhm.
But man, I am more confident than I've ever been. I have a much, much, much better understanding of the word leverage. I heard the word leverage before, but I didn't do anything about it. When we started working together, I would spend 2%, because we track everything, 2% of my time on actual high leverage activities. Now it's closer to 60,
Damn.
which is a big deal, which is a
Hmm.
very big deal. And I just am a kind of a new man and a new outlook, and I've already rapidly increased my goals, and the income that I made in 18, 19, 20, 21, that's like exactly the same. And then I had a major setback last year. When we started working together, I was pacing to do about 80% of that kind of that income from the previous years. And probably by the end of October, so 2 months ago, I'll be past that. Now that's, I will say, for the people who are watching, that's great. That's all fine and dandy. But the thing that I'm the happiest about is just like me as a person, much more positive, like big goals. They keep on getting bigger. Confidence that those goals are going to be hit in the gym, getting jacked, like looking good every day. Like that led to more money as opposed to tactics that I already knew that I've already been doing for years. Those were great. I was able to actually use those and flourish with those when I got myself straight. And honestly, there's probably a lot more that will go in this conversation, but to me, the biggest thing is the personal mastery, as you like to call it, has made the money difference, which is the thing that I cared about. But that was what was needed to focus on to get there.
It couldn't be otherwise, because this is exactly the thesis that I always espouse. It's like you can be absolutely brilliant on the technical side of things, the tactics, the strategy, how things work, how the game is played, but you don't play it. The problem is not knowing what to do. The problem is not actually doing what you know you should do. The problem is procrastinating, it's been blocked, it's not knowing how to proceed, it's not having a deeper why that propels you forward. As I always say, we are transforming you into the Michael Jordan of your industry. I believe you already are, and I am your team grower. What made Michael Jordan different, what made him the best player in history, is not that he was 10 times better at dribbling. He was very good at dribbling. It was everything else. It was resilience. It was performance. It was his ability to get into zone, ability to think big, ability to motivate. So I'm very happy to hear this, because this is exactly what we like to do, right? We always work with people that they are already good at what they're doing. They have a track record. Maybe they're not as high as they like it to be. But as soon as this is unblocked, everything else changes, mate. I'm so happy for you.
Overnight. Not well, it feels like overnight, it does feel like overnight when you get a routine and when you can check off the boxes, it really does feel overnight.
This is very interesting, because most people say change is difficult, right? And change can be difficult if you do not operate a paradigm change. When you operate a paradigm change, which is what we do in the program about the self and the mind and how the mind actually works and how you master your mind, things just fall in line naturally, don't you think?
Yeah, so I use the I use the phrase Uncle Steven because I have a lot of conversations each day with Uncle Steven, who's just me. And Uncle Steven is the wise, more successful, basically version of myself. So, look, like the way I would react to bad things would set me back for days on end. And it would create kind of a snowball in the wrong direction. And I'll give you just a recent example. So like last Monday, one of my merchant accounts that I was running like high ticket transactions on shut me down. And previously I would have been pissed off. I would have cursed. I would have yelled. I would have got really mad. And when I got that information, I said, okay, let's talk about it. And I went from being mad for literally like in the length of time it took to read the email to me being like, okay, fine. What do we do? And just that that is game changing on every single level you could possibly imagine, because not only did I not fester, but two of the merchant accounts that I already have bumped up my high ticket amount within the same day. Like the ability to be able to do that is something I did not have. But now that I have it, what I feel like I can accomplish is just through the roof. It's like, it's just through the roof. And to me, it has so much to do with belief. It's like I wake up and every morning I do this really cold plunge. And every morning it's cold. It is never not cold. It is always really cold. Well, I do that every day and I feel like I can accomplish a lot more. Then I hit the gym and I track the workouts and I know I'm lifting heavier weights and I'm doing more reps. And then I have goals and I know what the next step is for that goal. And when I track it off, it's a self-fulfilling thing. And what I feel like since I've really, because for the people who are watching, like, we've been working together for 3 to 4 months, but I've really only implemented this stuff the last 6 weeks. So what I'm talking about is like a 6-week thing. This is very fast. And I feel like, to me, what's really important is, and what I've really learned and what's going to really propel me to levels is just like kind of momentum in a lot of different parts of my life at the same time. Like I have momentum in the gym. I have momentum with my family. I have momentum with my business. I have momentum with like the ice bath thing. Like I started with showers and I was like, I want to go harder. So now I like jump in the actual like ice thing. And I think just like none of those have to do with like what to say on this webinar or what to say in this email. None of them have to do with that at all. But those are the ones that give you the result and the thing that you really kind of care about.
Because that's the transformation. You think about it, you already had the ability to do so, but you have forgot about it. The identity was sitting dormant inside, and now you are peeling back the onion to find that source of personal power that you had, but you lost at some point, right? Because you had this thing coming your way, which
no doubt I lost it. Like no doubt I lost that mojo. No doubt, 100%.
Exactly.
And it was gone for a while. Many. I mean, you can make an argument it was gone for almost a year. And yeah, but you pick me up off the pavement. And I feel fantastic. I feel fantastic. Even like yesterday, I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to challenge myself and do a full day fast. And like these are things that it's not going to make a better ad. It's not going to make
it's
you
going
better
to
on the phone, correct? But it makes me know that I can accomplish more, and it makes me have bigger goals, and it makes me consider leverage in different ways. And all those things together give you what you want, which is, kind of impact in dollars and cents.
absolutely. It's incredible you mentioned this because, as you know, in the community we have some crazy folks that have become crazier after working with us, right? So people that started just randomly running marathons on a random Sunday, starting amateur boxing careers, and getting punched in the face in the first combat, going Ironman. So this happens when you truly unlock that identity, because that identity work is just shows up in whatever way you have deeply rooted inside that it has to woke up. So in a sense, it's finding it, unlocking it, and then we train the mind to sustain it.
Correct. And that's what's interesting. So today's Wednesday. So on Monday, in the middle of the day, I was like getting a little tired. I was like, oh, I don't know. I felt myself kind of taking a couple steps back mentally. I was like, you know what? We're gonna go downstairs to the gym and we're gonna do 50 pull-ups. And we're gonna go and we're gonna give ourselves 10 seconds in between sets. Just training yourself to become resilient. Again, nothing to do with what to say on a webinar or in an email, but to be able to have that confidence, to be able to have that resiliency, and to be able to have that discipline, like you said, just for whatever reason, it just unlocks everything else when it comes to business and really the rest of your life too.
And now imagine, because this of course has a ripple effect, imagine compounding this across every area of your life. The people that are close to you, what have they tell you?
It's nuts. They say you're a different person. They're like, dude, you're a different person. I was down at the wedding and they're like, you look younger than the last time I saw you. And some of these people I haven't seen in 2 or 3 years. And they're like, you look younger. And again, what excites me the most about this is that, like a lot of stuff in the coaching space, people don't get results right away. Like when I dove in and I started with that morning routine, and I forget what lesson it was, but it was like, do something really challenging every day. I was like, yeah, like, let's try that. Like the next day, I felt an immediate difference, an immediate benefit. And I just haven't stopped. I mean, when I was down at the wedding last week, they had a spa in the hotel, and I did hot tub, cold shower, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like 10 different times. And it's just feeling good. Like, and again, like these are the major things that propel the business for sure.
And your
And we haven't even
life.
talked about leverage. I mean, we haven't even talked about that yet. Like,
Let's go into that, because it's for a little context. So the transformation we operate has to do with the self first, and then with how the self show up, right? So it's leverage is the thing that we want to have embedded in everything that we do. So instead of doing the 80-20 Pareto principle like everybody, we do the 99-1. So what is the actual one thing or couple things that have exponential returns? But in order to find that, we first need to transform the self, the mind, the body, everything. Once that is working, we're going to leverage. Now, let's talk about leverage. How's that coming along?
yeah. So for the folks who are watching this, what really helped for me is that, Leon's like, you got to track everything. Because the truth is, you got a million different things going into your brain at the same time. There's just no way you can mentally just keep tabs on everything. No, this is impossible. So by tracking everything, I recognize that I had a lot of room for improvement, which is great. And once I really got the confidence, improving the self, right? The self mastery, it's the name of the thing. I was able to look at kind of like a day in the life of me in terms of the work stuff. And I was literally putting numbers next to this hour of work or the 90-minute sessions, because that's the way we're coached here, 90-minute sessions. Like, what is generated from that? Like, what measurable thing is generated from that? And like I said, I was doing 2% of my time on what I call leverage, which is the highest, basically, income or revenue or growth thing. And now it's vastly different. So I was the biggest blocker in terms of being able to implement and apply leverage to my business. I was the biggest blocker. And when I really sat down and looked at it, and it's very clear where leverage and what activities I do that create the biggest output. It's very clear. So before, I was the guru, I was the fulfiller, I was the coach, and that's good stuff. But I would do tasks that generate zero growth, that generate zero return, that generate zero anything. And I recognize that actually my highest leverage activities are marketing, and specifically emails, and specifically ads. And those are very high dollar amounts per hour put in. And now that I'm spending the majority of my time doing that, everything is just like blossoming all at the same time. So like I was telling you before, like, I have gurus under me that are going to be running the programs at the level that I was running. And I will just be able to spend my time on growing those programs and making sure people get better results. That's it. That's it. That's actually it. And if I go the next 5 years, and I spend, let's call it 90% of my time, because stuff's going to happen, right? 90% of my working time on making sure the products are always better, and making sure that we're always growing in terms of marketing and sales. I can't even like wrap it around my head how successful that's going to end up being. These are things I knew all along, but it wasn't until I actually looked at them and really had a conversation with myself on like, are we utilizing leverage here or are we not? And it's a much different thing right now. And it's fascinating to see and to feel each day, because, like I got beta programs running right now, get the whole thing going, and it's all moving really quickly.
Because now you're able to understand exactly how to strategically unlock yourself. And every time something happens, it's like, okay, this is a bottleneck of a system that I have control over. If yes, is there any way that I can solve this limit so I can never have to work on it again? Yes or no? That's it. Boom. Now you've become an absolute systematic machine,
Yeah.
which is very exciting because you understand that there's literally no end to that growth. And when you say, I don't know where I'm going to be, but it's going to be massive, literally our
Yes.
brain cannot compute it because we
Yeah.
think linearly.
Yeah. You know, the moves that I've made in my business are moves that I was afraid to make until I did all the things to my personal self that I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. It's cold in the morning. It's very cold. But like just doing that for a week, I was like, all right, like we can just move forward on these things that I know I should have been doing, that I've never done, that are a little bit scary because like, I don't know, feel good about it now, feel fine about it now. And it's a much different beast.
Because we're focusing on the tactical, which is the cold exposure. What it does, in essence, is a stressor that is conditioning your
Yeah.
mind for stressor, so that's pumping up your stress capacity, right? But it also has a mental component. But I would argue that on top of that, or maybe below, like at a deeper level, the transformation has to do also with how you see yourself and your sense of mission with your life. Because now you're not, I do it with a business. You are a hero, which is building a story that has a purpose of teaching and training your craft, which makes you make bolder bets, take on more stress, feel absolutely blessed by that stress because that proves that you are that hero. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that, because that is what makes everything else eventually happen.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at myself, I see something different in the mirror. When I talk to myself, I'm having different conversations with myself. Thus, what I can accomplish on a personal level and what I feel like I can accomplish on a personal level, that translates over into what I think I can accomplish from a business standpoint and the impact I can make. And just the whole thing just snowballs and the whole thing compounds from a drastic point. So, you know, when we first started working together, it was like, I just want to make more money. Now it's like, I want to help 1 million people be financially independent via investing and trading. And how with my skill set and my knowledge, how can I best do that? Number one, continue to improve myself every day. Number two, create programs where people actually get good results, which is a giant issue in my industry. And then spend every single day getting more people into the programs and making the programs better. That's it. It's three things.
That's it.
It's three things. It's three things. And I used to spend 16 hours a day. I don't even know what I was doing, honestly, like looking back. Like I have no idea what I was even doing then.
Well, one of the things we talk about is that so you gotta, everybody talks about the vision. We gotta have a vision. But the problem is
Yeah.
that most visions fail because they have not been generated from a sense of personal identity. Anybody can say, dude, I want to make 10 millions in 5 years. Yeah, that's absolutely fucking fantastic. But if you have no actual, right,
Yeah.
everybody wants to do that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
only a few will. Why? Because unless that is coming from you and you have a deeply interwoven sense of identity with your financial goals that actually serves a purpose, you're not going to get there. But once you unlock it like you did, it's just a matter of time, no chance. You're going to get
Yeah.
it.
I don't see it as a maybe. I just see it as a, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, whatever. But it'll happen.
Michael
Yeah.
Jordan. This is
No, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, for the people who are watching, like, like, if imagine waking up every day feeling good, feeling confident, feeling like you're a fucking killer. And then imagine that throughout the day, you feel that the whole day, and you feel, and anything that happens that is negative, it just like bounces off of you. Imagine looking in the mirror every single time and being like, damn right, motherfucker, look at you. Like, like, how could you lose if you feel that way? For the people who are like, how could you possibly lose?
You don't.
Not if you feel that way.
No.
And your confidence and your conviction and your decisions when it comes to the business, when it comes to goals and planning, especially when you understand leverage. Because I'm happy that I know about it now. Let's just say that. I'm very happy that I know about it now, especially when it comes to leverage and being able to look at things differently and being able to like have data around your life and being able to, you know, like, cause like a thing for me was I was doing intermittent fasting. Like, is this something as simple as this? And wasn't sleeping super well, and it's supposed to help you sleep well. And then I was like, well, you know, maybe I'm eating a little bit late in the day, so let me bump up my dinner. Now I sleep better. It's like, imagine like thinking like that,
Distance thinking.
like exactly, like every day. Like it's just game over at that point. It's just game over at that point. Like, if you can feel this way for the next 10 years, like it's I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what the limit would be. Like, I don't even know. Like, imagine feeling like that every day. I mean, I'm doing it. And I was like curled up in a ball on the floor for almost a year. I mean, truthfully, I was. And I'm not even embarrassed to say it, because, you know, maybe I had to go through all that to get to this point and to like never go through it again. But like, if you're an entrepreneur, or a business owner, or a founder, or just anyone, like, you are a machine, right? You're like a Ferrari. And like, if you treat yourself like you would a Ferrari, like you're going to wake up a Ferrari every day. If you clean it every day, if you make sure that the fuel you're putting in is good, if you're making sure that it's getting its rest, that it's not parked by all these other cars and all this stuff, like you're just going to go like a rocket ship.
Which you are. That's exactly the
I
point.
definitely fucking am right now.
Damn, mate. Damn, mate. I love it.
Yeah,
So
man.
the systematic understanding of everything, having the absolute ability to withstand any damage, as we call, become anti-fragile, because whatever
Yeah.
happens to you is just feedback that you can implement, that you can improve yourself on. So you're consistently becoming better. The same thing that used to knock you out or knocks a competitor out now, that they don't have this framework, this ability to think, to master their mind, because people think this is a mindset thing. It's not a mindset thing. It is a spiritual thing, because mindset is something fickle. It comes and goes. It is just how your mind is configured. We're talking about having total absolute mastery of the mind, not relying on mindset to get things going. Just do them.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you can master your thoughts, if something bad can happen and you are just done with that negative thought after 5 seconds, again, like things can happen, but I find it hard to believe how you could really lose.
That's exactly the thing that I'm most excited about everything that we teach, which we teach a lot, is this. It's literally this. It's absolute mental mastery. You have this negative thought, you let it go, because this is not helping you build that myth, that hero of you, right?
No, when you have kind of that big vision and you see progress in what you're doing, and this is not just in the business, it's in the gym, it's your eating, it's the quality time you're spending with your family or your loved ones. Like, when you see that kind of progress, and you understand leverage, and you're working towards a really big outward goal, like, it's hard to get knocked off that bike. It's hard to, because you're just consumed with so much positivity, and you're seeing results. Again, it's hard to get knocked off of that.
It's just to just deflect it. So if you had to imagine someone watching and feeling like that, maybe crawling on the floor, they've been pushing too hard, they don't see the results they want. For whatever reason, they understand that the problem is not a lack of tactics. It's not that they don't know enough marketing or what to say on a webinar. They understand that they have not trained that side of themselves. They understand that they are not at the level they want to get with their business. Because if the founder is not at the level, you cannot take your business to a level you're not in first.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
What would you tell them?
So you already know the tactic. You already know the strategy. I mean, YouTube can give it to you for free for the most part when it comes to like how to sell something, webinar, you know, phone script or whatever. Like, you can literally YouTube any of that. But what you're missing is the belief in yourself and the confidence in yourself. You're missing that. And even if you are someone who has already done well, that next level is not happening for you, in my opinion, because you're missing the personal growth. You're missing the belief. And it is the biggest shift that I've ever had in my professional life and my personal life, really, is what I've learned from you, really, is growth in every aspect of your life leads to the growth that you want in the money and in the business type of thing. And I think that every business owner, this should be like a requirement, truthfully speaking.
Honestly,
It should be like a requirement, because you get to skip so many different levels when you have that self-confidence, when you have that belief in yourself. It's again, like imagine anything bad bouncing off of you like it's just nothing. Like that happened. That happens every day. That happens every single day. And if you want to get to another level in your business, you personally have to get to another level. And I'm living proof that it can be done in way shorter amount of time. You can get immediate benefits. It's a lot of fun because you continue to kind of challenge yourself, and you get to see that you're overcoming a lot of challenges. And again, like, imagine being able to sit there and just say, like, I have no idea what my limit even is. Like that, like, to be able to have that confidence, to be able to have that conviction and that belief in yourself. Like, again, I struggled to find to this point how I could really lose.
You won't.
And like, imagine if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, a founder, like, if you can feel like that. Again, I've only been doing it for 6 weeks, been feeling that way. And I'm already at a way different ball game than I was ever at. Like, again, in 10 years, I have no idea I have no idea how big this thing could get. It'll blow me away, I know. But I think that if you want to improve in a business, you have to improve yourself. And this fucking worked.
Mate, I'm absolutely honored to have you,
Yeah,
to,
man.
to work with you, that you trusted me, right? Because you went with this burning problem. And I just felt I could help, and dude, this worked super well. And I'm happy that we've been working together so far, just 3 months. We still have a lot to do. We have
Yeah.
a lot to
Yeah.
do together. There's many months and years to work
Yeah.
still. So I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited. Now that we have unlocked it, now we have unblocked it. Now
Uh-huh.
it's all right. So how fast can we move? Where are we
Yeah.
moving? What is the
Yeah.
next KPI? Something that absolutely proves that we're making 10 years worth of progress in a couple of years. That is
And for everyone who's watching this too, you've joined coaching programs before, almost certainly. You've bought courses, you've whatever before. And so have I. And this is one of the only that I actually saw through all the way. And again, it's only been a couple of weeks. And the reason is because, life happens. You buy this program, you're super pumped for like a couple of days, and then you're like, oh, there's a lot of videos here. If I'm done. Maybe I'll check in. Maybe I'll do this. But like, Leon is very proactive in reaching out, which helped me a ton, because yes, life gets in the way. But when he's reaching out to me all the time, I'm like, you know what? He's right. Let's jump in. So not only was the program in a way that, of course, I'm getting massive benefits, but you personally making sure I was accountable was a big difference maker too. Because in a lot of these other coaching programs, is like, you get out of it what you put in, and I understand that, but you don't let that be the case in this, because you proactively reach out to us and make us accountable. And I think that, with, of course, everything else that's offered, I think I don't get paid for this, but I think you'd be nuts not to do this. Like, it's at some point you're going to need to level up in your life. And what I have learned will be able to stay with me like forever. And I'll always be continuously challenging myself, because I know it will make me more resilient. And if I'm more resilient as a person in business, I'm going to be way more resilient. And like, you can't lose by doing that.
Dude, thank you very much. I'm honored.
Thank you, dude.
Truly. It's only been 3 months, but it's been such an incredible transformation. And I'm really,
Yeah.
really happy and to hear these words and most of all, see your progress, know your progress, and now plan the next 3-month roadmap together.
Yeah,
So
man. Let's
thank you
do
very
it.
much for jumping in. Again,
Thank you,
my
Leon.
privilege. Let's keep rocking the community and see you around. All
All right,
right.
my man.
Cheers, mate.
Peace.
Bye-bye.